Alright, so, um, kind of don't even know what to say. I've had a lot of stuff happen to me. I've had like a tooth going into my sinus, almost taking me out. There were like a lot of sinus issues. I hurt my arm. I mean, I don't think you could see it. And had like a bad infection. From that, suspiciously, like on a cut, from the gate at my mom's house I was staying at, having my family like try to beat me up, um, calling me like all kinds of names, freaking police like acting suspicious, people not wanting to give me good health care even when I was going through the worst infections, um, my family using their credentials or like whatever they studied to use against me, anywhere from like my mom working, in child care or human services, and yeah, just like all types of stuff, all types of discrimination and abuse. I had this infection, and ironically, it was from a cut in the gate, to my mom's house. And for context, she definitely cut that gate so that way I could cut myself, on my front porch, on right in front of my front porch of a house that's not even mine. While I temporarily stayed there. And yeah, I just kind of don't even know what to say. There could have been anything on that gate when it was cut, and surely enough, it gave me a really bad infection. And yeah, I've been losing weight a lot. I've had, people try to take me out with a skateboard, with my own skateboard. I've had the police, never assist me even now after it's already morning, and after this lady was, putting her car alarm off all night, you know, and yeah, the police acting suspicious and stuff, and people like making a lot of noise wherever I go, especially any hotel or stuff like that, and yeah, just even being discriminated against my doctor, or discriminated by my doctor, against me, and yeah, being told that like I don't need to know about my health care, I just need to do as she says, and then she drops me out of the practice, and then I go homeless, around that time. And yeah, I'm not getting any housing. I not only had my arm injured, from where I was staying, with my mom, especially in San Pedro, considering that's where I was staying. And yeah, just having so many things happen to me, Now I can't get housing because I have an eviction on my record. And yeah, LAPD wants to stop me for no reason, when I'm just walking on the sidewalk. And this thing called Care Court, or the Care Court program, is, impeding on all my rights, and, forcing me into, court when I don't even have time for that. I need to, find work or find housing, especially get some legal services. Because on top of me, getting that cut on my arm by my mom, her cutting like the gate and I grazed my arm, against it. And my uncle working in chemistry, so could have put whatever, kind of chemicals on, the gate. And, yeah, just like a lot of stuff, you know. Um, Anywhere from that to, even my brother, who's halfway homeless, steal my mom's car from San Pedro all the way to Calexico. My mom lets him back in the house. The police don't do anything to him. He gets to beat me, you know. Um, my mom gets to, physically beat me, and she gets to take my Social Security money, and all because I apparently owe, these cartel or black gang members money for their trans prostitutes. That's how it all started. You know, People trying to say that, I think people are following me even though there's no evidence, and now I have too much evidence. I've had people really discriminate me. I've had the courts, exploit me. I've had California programs exploit me, and a lot of illegal stuff, even though, they would try to, punish me, for anything that I do. Um, Even just walking on the sidewalk, like, seriously. LAPD did that, like, not even a few days ago. And, that's how LA and Los Angeles County is really corrupt, because, I'm talking about Diddy to Epstein level crimes that are being committed in Los Angeles. And, yeah, nobody's liking it. So if I'm talking about Diddy and Epstein, and even the president right now could be in on this, and, we could go to war at any moment, but, somebody would want me to stay silent before then, especially somebody like my family, but mainly, my mother. And it would involve Diddy and Epstein, so it would be all conspiracy and stuff like that. So if I'm telling you, like, oh yeah, I grazed my arm, on the gate to my house, and I had a really bad infection on my arm, and, like, it really wasn't good, you'd be like, oh, well, you recovered, there's nothing on your arm, you're just talking conspiracies and stuff. It's like, just sure. Yeah. Sure. It's like, sure thing. But I'm going to make sure that I don't get, placed in a mental hospital for the rest of my life. Or at that point, basically just put in jail because I'm speaking the truth. And I have autism, so they could just, exploit the healthcare system and just be like, oh yeah, he has autism, so he probably just needs to be, placed in a psych ward or an institution, and not have housing, and not have, even a hotel that he could stay in, or not have, a place that he wants to rent within his Social Security budget because he has an eviction, but yet the police don't want to respond to him, even now. Even now. I was like, even now with this lady with this really nice, Mercedes Benz, and, she's homeless or whatever, or halfway homeless, and she's being trafficked, and she's being protected by the police. Think about that one. I mean, can you believe it? You can't? But why? Well, why can't you believe it? I don't understand. Of course some people are going to believe it. Hello? I mean, they'll try to say, oh yeah, you have all these, um, history of mental health issues. Oh, we see here that, when you were staying with your mom, you had to break, you know, get it, had to break. They're gonna be like, you broke, the window to your mom's house. I'm like, yeah, that's because I owed cartel money, and anybody from the mail lady down to the cleaning lady, or some street food vendor lady could be cartel. I'm like, it's as simple as that. And I really do owe cartel money, to the point where they would send a lady with a nice, Mercedes Benz, and she has a Pacific Palisades flyer on her vehicle, so that way, they sympathize with her. They're like, oh yeah, well, she lost her home in the fire, I'm like, oh, so she gets to be trafficked, right? And she gets to set her car alarm off because an autistic person is talking about, the trafficking that's going on in Los Angeles, but also the police that misconduct and commit healthcare fraud, and the healthcare system that's being negligent and using malicious intent to imprison people like me, in a psych ward or mental institution, or a nursing home, or just being homeless. I'm like, I'm homeless right now. I'm literally homeless right now. I'm like, seriously, I have to check out at 11. This lady really, kept putting her car alarm off, like as if like a nurse was trying to, keep trying to give you oxygen even though you're conscious. Now people are like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, they shut the door really quick after that one, because when you're trying to give oxygen to somebody while they're still conscious, I mean, that's not medically advisable. I mean, is that? I don't think that's if you're giving oxygen to somebody, is it medically advisable to give them oxygen when they're conscious? But the police brought them, and they're holding them in an emergency room so they can't leave, and they have autism, and they're speaking about trafficking crimes, trafficking, like trafficking of humans, whether you do it legally or legitimately through the healthcare system or law enforcement. Or even if the military's doing it. I mean, like, oh, by the way, I'm pointing at this guy because that's her pimp, unironically. I don't know if you see the phone in his hand, but for even more reference, he came up to the hotel to tell the police that there's no car alarm that went off, and there was no disturbance or of any kind, even though she was really putting her car alarm off. Excuse me, miss, are you a nurse?
Yeah.
Oh, I had to ask a question.
I need to go because I have an emergency right now.
Oh, do you think it's okay to give oxygen to somebody that's conscious?
If they ask.
Oh, if they ask for it?
Conscious or conscious?
If they're conscious, if they don't ask for oxygen, there's no point to give them oxygen because they're conscious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah, there's no point.
See, have a good one. I guess that's why you're supposed to have freedom of speech on the sidewalk, because so basically, if a sanctuary city like Los Angeles is getting away with mass human trafficking, and they're using law enforcement and the healthcare system to do it, then obviously they would want to, put an autistic person, in the psych ward or in an emergency room, so that way, they could take his life. Shout out to Providence Low Company and Mary out in San Pedro. I'm like, for reference, they really did give me oxygen while I was conscious. It was very scary. I was like, dude. I was like, I should be able to get a lawsuit, but you know who's not gonna let me get the lawsuit? That's cartel, by the way. Are veterans and homeless people like just lurking in the shadows. I was like, yeah, nope. I was like, they're not gonna like that one. They're gonna be like, yeah, nope. I want to make sure that that does not happen. Oh, don't forget about any black gangs or African American gangs. I'm like, is that a police? I don't think that's a police vehicle. I thought it was for a second. I was like, dang, police, LAPD sent their other undercover officers again because they wanted to entrap an autistic person, even though they're not even committing any crimes. I mean, crazy stuff, But yeah, I don't think LAPD is going to come. So if they do come, best believe they're going to come, while I'm getting ready to find another hotel, which is like the equivalent of, me trying to clean my room while I was staying in San Pedro, and to the point where I couldn't. So, yeah. Sorry, I gotta make sure that this girl who's being trafficked doesn't get an equal opportunity to go to sleep after setting her alarm off, all night. And having, her pimp be in the room right next to me. And who's in the military, so he knows how to conduct himself. Or he knows hello, quote unquote, tactics. So just stay silent, keep his head down, and, not saying anything while he's passing by, and just look as normal as possible, And probably even be buddy-buddy with, like, some of the police, I guess. But, yep, that's LAPD for you. I wish I could call LAPD while I'm on this thing, but I guess I can't. Anyway, God bless everybody.